Peace, family. Peace. I forgot what we was talking about today. What we supposed to talk about
War.
today? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's time. Yeah. That's all in the news now. We've been dealing with this war, War been in the media for the last well over a year since
Ukraine.
Yeah, since
Yes,
that was February 2022. Yeah, so that's almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
They've been talking about war, third World War. They've been threatening you with World War III for the last 2 years.
And civil wars.
Yeah,
too.
all the white people. Oh, it's World War III. It's going to be in the Civil War. That's all they do is threaten you with this end of the world. So you have to understand when you're dealing with that European mentality, you're dealing with almost a death cult type of mentality. All right? Those two embrace the death and disaster just by virtue of their epigenetic upbringing. All right? It's always the end of the world when you're in the middle of an ice age and you ain't got no fresh water other than some drips from the ice, animals all around you, living in a cave. You know what I'm saying? Waste where you sleep at, and grandma better not fall asleep because she might get ate. I mean, that's stress, that's anxiety. That's the type of culture when you're listening to them, you have to understand their minds. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand their minds, so you don't understand what you're seeing and hearing when you watch this warfare stuff. You don't understand. You think this is about now, it's about then.
Yeah.
These people are suffering from trauma. Extreme trauma. All right.
They've never gotten over Hannibal. That was
or
even
whatever.
in Star Wars with the elephants.
Yeah, before that, like I said, it's this extreme trauma of war. War is traumatizing. Right. All right. You watch damn war movies and Platoon or whatever, or Thin Red Line. Your buddy gets shot and you shut. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's trauma after trauma after trauma. You're talking about in warfare. All right. So it's almost like a conditioning thing too.
And how do you mean that?
It's conditioning the people to express themselves a certain way. It's conditioning them to get used to a certain environment. All right. It's conditioning you to get used to warfare.
Right.
All right. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but how it's depends on how it's applied and how it's used.
And they've learned how to navigate and control society better in that chaos.
Yes. Well, yeah. It's not. They're using the same techniques.
Well, no, I'm not saying it, but that's what I mean. It's the same techniques, and that's how they wind up, if there's chaos, then you could go in and target those that you always wanted to get in the first place.
Yeah. Suffice to say, men are generally more militaristic in their approach towards things. And we always have the desire to not one up to see how we measure up against the next one. You know what I'm saying? You always have that, especially when you're younger. When you get older, it's like, I don't care what that nigga do. But when you get younger, it's all about, how do I measure up? Would I fit up in this thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're trying to make a way in this society and see a place for yourself. You know what I mean? So it almost goes back to the adage, you get in where you fit in. But when it comes to this war, not that women don't go to war, because women have all types of little warfare they do.
Yeah.
But that stuff is going to be more social. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. How they maintain control of the family and the daughters and things like that. They can be a little vicious and using guilt to drive each other to different places. You got your thing now. Don't sleep. Right. Excuse me. Subterfuge. Or just subtle things, maybe not so physical.
But it's not macro societal.
Not necessarily, but there's still subterfuge is part of warfare. So spying is part of warfare. You can't have war without an intelligence group. All right. You have to be able to monitor what's going on in your enemy's camp and in your camp. So you're going to have the intelligence wing. And the females have a great propensity for gathering intelligence, whether you believe it or not.
No, I know that. Well, I acknowledge, because people have come to me, not now, because they know that you can't come to me with silliness, but why are you gossiping about this one or that one? I said, you don't understand. These people are set up to influence us to chaos. So this isn't gossip. This is a war council where we are talking about the enemy's tactics in attacking us. So me going for the swirlers, it wasn't just that I, needed views or anything. I was looking at it and I said, these people, the men and the women, are holding on or being the front soldiers for the idea that white people are perfect and that we're so imperfect. And nothing of the sort is the case. And when I think about my warning about Fukushima, I really had to ponder, why is it so hard to get people, our people, to hear me? And one of the reasons is because they expect the white media to come forth and give the truth about this. So if you've got a bunch of Black folks out there who are presenting white people like they're the ultimate standard of humanity, then you're going to, of course, when you hear a lone voice that comes without any of their daggone approval, you're going to be thinking like them and dismiss the one voice that's going to save your behind. And thereby, I had to really ponder it. So when I'm looking at the way that we think about them, we give them way too much authority, way too much deference in their ideas of the way that the world's supposed to be run, so that when they're doing wars, somehow that's okay. But us having difficulty and disagreements, that's the worst thing that's ever happened on the planet.
That's right. You're a plague on the planet. Yes, we're a plague for whatever we do in our neighborhoods, but they're not a plague.
Yeah.
For spreading sickness, disease, war, death, bloodshed, weapons all over the planet. All right. So yes, it's a double standard, but so what?
Right.
That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand that there ain't no planet. There's no time this planet has had one culture.
Exactly.
All right?
Yeah.
In other words, there's no time this planet has one way they lived. All right. There's always been a clash of cultures. White boy people tell you about a clash of cultures. All right. The clash of cultures. They talk about it over and over again through history. Because they come from nothing. The European comes from nothing. They had to fight a lot of cultures. They had to overcome a lot of cultures to get where they are. All right?
E pluribus unum.
Yeah. Out of many comes one.
Right.
All right?
And they mean them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they mean. Out of many come one. That's what they're talking about. So there's been a battle clash of cultures and for going on. There's no need. When you see everybody doing the same thing, you know something's wrong. Put it like that. Every people's folk does something different.
Right.
They have their own culture. They have the way they have their own rituals for mating. Their own rituals for death. They have their own ways they do things.
Right.
All right. So you up in this European, this quote unquote Western, whatever that means. If you go west far enough, ain't you east? Right. If I go west far enough, I'm going to be in the east. Right. So this Western culture, with this Western civilization, whatever. It's all games. It's all games. They playing games with the language. They playing games with your perception because they make you think that they was the shit and they ain't been the shit that long. All right. They just got shit. They didn't have none before.
Wow.
All right. They just got it. All right. But they control your history, so they show everything they did was it. I was him back then. Oh, back then we was him.
We didn't even have history before they showed up.
Exactly. Oh, Rome was him. That was it. Like nothing else was going on in the world.
Yeah, exactly. The known
exactly.
world. And they're always talking about Greece and Rome. That's it.
Yeah. So, in other words, everything you're hearing is biased. All your rumors are biased. They're rumors and they're biased to make you think a certain way. All right. See the little girls on the screen? Yes. They're seducing each other. The one is seducing the other into their culture and way of seeing. All right. So in order to survive and prosper and to be yourself, you have to have a culture, a way of seeing things that is yours and matches you. All right. Else you will not be successful. You're not going to be successful activating on their culture. I don't care how much money you make, what kind of enclave you live in. That's not success. That's just accumulation of things. All right?
Yeah.
And a society, a nation needs things. Of course, we need land and produce. We need gross national. Those are things you need. You individually getting a house somewhere away from the Negroes and Negresses is not. That's not it.
That's how I said it.
That's not change. That ain't no protection for you.
Yeah.
Ain't no protection for you. All right. Your protection is organizing amongst yourself from your own political groups. All right. Having your own political agendas, not those foisted upon you by a Democratic Party like you got right now. You ain't got no agendas. Or every black man you got here executing agenda came from the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
They have no new agenda for you.
And neither do the Republicans.
No, not at all. I'm just saying, though. They don't have, no, you have, whether you Republican or wherever they come from, they have no black agenda. There's no black agenda.
Exactly.
All right, that's the point I'm trying to make. Republican nor Democratic.
Right.
All right. And if those tout, my point is that those who tout democracy, Democrats are usually the most black folks are Democrats. That's why I point them out.
Yeah, no, I know. Right? I know. I just like to, because sometimes if you don't clarify, they're working such a psyop, propaganda on everybody. They think that, oh, you're tired of the Democrats? Let's go on over to the Republicans. And I'm just like, what's the difference? It's just that the Republicans are more bold about how they hate us. And the Democrats will lie and pretend, but they hate us even more.
But like I said, until you have a political agenda for your people, you can't even play one off the other.
Right.
All right.
Wow.
So you got to develop an agenda for what you want. Because everybody, I understand, the Democrats and the Republicans are private organizations.
Wow.
All right. These are private political organizations.
Wow.
They're not government organizations.
I never even thought about that. Wow.
They're not government. They run your government, but they're not government.
Right. They have a stranglehold.
Exactly. And these parties they have are these primaries. That's their primaries that they run. The government can help fund those primaries, but those are private primaries for Democrats.
Wow.
And private primaries for Republicans.
That's so
all right.
Wow.
So, where's your program? Where's your primaries at? Wow. If you're going to participate in this political agenda, you're going to have a political wing, have your own primaries, put together your own candidates. You got to do things like that, because don't think that this two-party thing is normal amongst the world. It's not. Most countries have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parties vying for power. Right. Active seats in government. Even the quote-unquote Western world, especially, they have multiple parties. All right? So their political systems are different. You into this political system. And so they talk to you about, so you don't know what the science behind other political system is. You don't understand proportional representation. You know what I'm saying? That everybody has to have represented to the proportion of your population. It's called proportional representation. It's not winner takes all. That means that, if we got 100 votes, 25 Democrat, 25 Republican, 25 Black Power Party, 25 XYZ, LBGT Party, everybody gets seats. All right? All of those will go to the Congress, and they all have seats in Congress. All right? And then they can vote, they can represent their agenda in the Congress. But they won't be in the Democratic Party because they're not Democrats.
Right.
It won't be the Republican Party primaries because they're not. They'll be in their general election where everybody can come.
Whereas they got this set up so that you hope on a wing and a prayer that they'll shine a little time. And that's the way they got Black Us all set up, where it's like you hope that they're going to notice you, and then you'll just see them go to everybody else and pay no attention to anything.
Yeah, because you're doing it backwards. In this system, you buy the candidates, then you get your legislation done. You got to buy the candidates first. You can't elect a candidate and get legislation done.
Right.
You got to buy a candidate. Then you can get your legislation done. See, you think they got you in La La Land. They got you they infantilize you. I just vote for him and then he going to represent, he going to promise everything he promised he going to do. No.
Never.
That ain't even possible.
Yeah.
All right. No, he only gonna do what you pay him to do.
Yeah.
No, in other words, you have to have finance to go with politics. That's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah, in this system, without a doubt, I understand when they're elected, these officials get into office and they immediately show them the bill. This is what your principality, your village, your city owes. And you have to collect this amount of money right at the bat.
That's right. But who do they owe the money to?
Well, the banks.
Exactly. So they don't even owe. So in other words, when they give you a ticket, who's the money's going to who? It's not going into the city coffers. It's going to pay
the debt.
The debt. All right. Because the city, they're not sovereign because they've been compromised by bankers. They've been compromised by the banking industries. They're not sovereign. You don't have a sovereign state. They're compromised. All right. You can't be in debt and be independent.
Right.
All right. You have to get out of debt to be independent. And all your states and cities, most of your big cities are in debt. Chicago, New York, name them. Atlanta, deficits, debt, pension money too much. All right. So, meanwhile, they're always trying to give you something. They try to entice you with a benefit for you to vote for them. At the same time, they're trying to cut back benefits because they can't afford them. Know what I'm saying?
Where is it?
Oh, we're going to give you a guaranteed income from where? Right. The city's broke. Where does this guaranteed income money coming from? Right. You know what's going on? A corporation is giving money to the city under contract to pay for these guaranteed income programs.
Oh. And
because it's a political agenda. It ain't got nothing to do with the city. This is a world agenda, if I may say it that way, without making you all spooky. Yeah. But what's going on? What's going on? These dictates are coming down from beyond the cities. All right. We have these other world-based, these nationless groups that are deciding policy for everybody, and the cities are taking it down, and they're paying these cities money to execute them. Right. Because the cities are all in debt. They all need revenue. So they promise them money. Well, sometimes they just donate the money. It's like in Newark when Cory Booker came in and Facebook donated all this money to Newark, and like, for what? What did he do with it? What happened to it? Right. Cory Booker, what was $100 million? What the $100 million go, Cory Booker?
That's a lot of money.
That's a payoff.
Yeah.
That's payola.
Wow.
All right?
Wow.
That's payola. Let's get back to war. Because it's all based, that's warfare. Business is warfare too. That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But you're talking about war. But look at that, what they can do without firing the gun. They can control your political system, control what you think.
Yes.
Control what you eat. No guns fired.
And I'm paying attention, but not reading the stories about the Israel-Hamas conflagration. I noticed that they've had to kind of jockey the headlines around because I can tell nobody is interested. They had a field day with the scandal-ademic thing. And so people were like scared because they turned all of us into hypochondriacs. So people were scared. What's going on? What's going on? But with this thing, nobody's coming to the party.
Let me tell you about Israel and Hamas. Are you threatened by the people that rely on you for their support? How threatened are you by people that rely on you for everything that goes on?
Absolutely not at all.
Yeah, all right. So where's Hamas at? Where they operate out of? You know what it's called?
No.
The Gaza Strip in Israel, which is basically an internment camp on the edge of Israel.
Giant walls.
At the edge of Israel, next to Egypt. There's two Palestinian, quote unquote, zones. The Gaza Strip is supposed to be strictly Palestinians. Then you have the West Bank, which is Palestinians with a smattering of Israeli settlements because they don't want them to have that. They want to take the West Bank away too. All right. Right. Matter of fact, I can show you the map.
You got it. Okay.
I'm gonna show you the map.
Let's go to the map.
Because I know everybody want to know about that. So let's go there. Let's go next one. Next. Right there.
Okay.
All right, now you see Israel. So you see the West Bank in the gray, right?
Yeah.
Now you see how close the West Bank is to these guys all live on top of each other.
Right.
All right, Israel's not that big.
It's not.
Size-wise, you know what I mean?
So
that's the West Bank. Now you see who's in the West Bank. They got the capital city. They have the Palestinian Arab settlements, and they have the Jewish settlements. You see the colors? The purple ones are Jewish settlements.
Okay.
So in between, in the orange ones are Palestinian settlements.
Oh, so
you see how they're all interspersed around each other?
Right.
Yes, because they're slowly but surely claiming most of that territory for themselves. You have to look up a group called the Stern Gang to understand what happened in Israel after 1948. All right? Because all these names, none of these names were there 1945. Except Jerusalem, probably. All right? All the Palestinian cities most of them were wiped out. Wow. Names erased, literally.
That's what Invader does. They erase your name.
So you see that in the right hand in the corner, Gaza Strip. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. See that's next to Egypt. Yeah. That's all that is. Wow. Now let's go to another slide. I got this little document just so you can read. No, keep going. Keep going. All right. It was funny because they're talking about Hamas, and they're saying Hamas is making their own weapons in the Gaza Strip. Oh. All right, now they say Palestinian rocket includes those made in Gaza and the West Bank, as well as weapons struggled from Iran and Syria. All right. What are the main imports of Palestine? Palestine mainly imports oil, food, vegetables, machinery, metals, vehicles, chemicals, livestock. Palestine's main import partner is Israel, over 70% of total imports.
Wow. So that's business.
All right. Other imports include, that's all of quote unquote past the Gaza Strip and the West Bank included. All right. So 82.5% of Palestinian food imports and 55% of Palestinian exports come from Israel. All right. So Israel don't have to fire a shot at Hamas. Right. Israel just got to cut the water off because most of their water is controlled by Israel too. Right. All right. So there's no shots need to be fired. Right? Because you're in control of everything that goes on in Gaza and the West Bank. Damn near literally. All right. And then you're talking about Hamas, which was a creation of who? Israel and the CIA.
Oh boy, right.
All right.
So
they were a ragtag group of what do you call them? Unsatisfied people.
Yeah.
All right.
That reminds
me couldn't
of
work
like
this who couldn't get with PLO. All right. So to use them as a wedge against Yasser Arafat and the PLO, they started Hamas. All right. So now you're trying to tell me you having a wars every few years you're having a war with a group that you started with weapons that come from where they airdrop. Then all the machinery they have to go through. They're not getting direct imports. Everything got to be checked. Right. So where's these weapons coming from? Right. Where's the material coming from to make weapons coming from? Right. All right. So my point is, like I said, you're not getting told the whole story. Right? There's much more going on here, and there's much less going on here.
Yeah, like half the pictures, the claims of the carnage, they have no verification that that's what happened. Like horrible things that babies being beheaded. They don't have any verification.
Yeah, and also you don't just go and like they just said they invaded Gaza Strip. Like you just don't invade the Gaza Strip. You have to plan for invasion of the Gaza Strip. And it don't take 2 weeks to make a plan. I mean, you already had a plan in existence to invade the Gaza Strip. All right. You were just looking for a pretext for entry. Right. And so here we have the perfect scenario pops up. Let's look at it. The perfect scenario pops up. First sign was Elon Musk.
Do tell.
Elon Musk
had
some issue on X, and he called out the ADL. And so with the ADL and Elon Musk on there, you start getting the Jewish thing popping up in the media again. So now we cycling again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then to pop that, and also next come what? Golda, the movie Golda Meir. A totally boring movie about nothing. But what is it based on? 1973, the Yom Kippur War. 50 years ago. Now come early now in 1923, Hamas pops up. Now we got a full-scale quote unquote war going on, right on cue.
Right on cue,
right on the anniversary. Right on the anniversary.
On the end, but also right after the Ukraine got to be a little bit boring.
Yeah, Can't still because yes. Yes, because there's, in other words, so let's look at it. There's no reason for them to go on there. They can do. Israel has been killing Hamas leaders since they created Hamas. How did they kill them? They just dropped it. They take Israeli, they call them Israeli F-16s. Israel buys those F-16s from the United States. They don't take that part. They're U.S. F-16s. And they just shoot a couple of rockets at them and kill them. And then kill 3 or 4 and 9, 10 other people around them. That's what they do. They don't be messing around going and invading. They'll just blow up the whole damn town and cats, and they follow them. They see who's going. They track them, take them out.
Wow.
All right. And that's supposed to be that's supposed to be a democracy. They're just having unsanctioned killing all it. That's supposed to be a democracy.
Right.
They're not arresting them. They're not taking them to court. You know what I'm saying? They just putting out execute notice on cats. And it's supposed to be a democracy. So you're not even seeing that part.
Which reminds me of the kill list. That because they, selected Obama, they made it seem like, oh no, but it's a black man who's got a kill list.
Yeah, Tuesday.
And they accuse him.
They call it Assassination Tuesday.
Yeah, Assassination Tuesday.
It's Assassination Tuesday. Every Tuesday they ever get together and decide where we going to shoot a drone, who we going to kill.
Right.
All right. That's execution. No trial, no judge, no jury. We suspect him, kill him.
That's despots. That's
right.
Tyrants.
That's the United States of America.
Right.
That's what they were doing. That's your boy Obama was doing. Your second black president.
Right. John Hanson was the first.
Third black president.
Oh, third.
Sorry,
Bill
Bill Clinton was black.
Right.
Your third black president. All right.
Right.
Yeah, but so that's what we're dealing with. So you got a war that don't have to be in Israel. You got a war that don't have to be in Ukraine. All right. So what is all going on here? Well, Ukraine thing is a little different because it's designed to distract Russia. All right. And cut off oil coming from Russia to Europe because the United States wants to control the energy needs of Germany and Europe. That's really what's going on there.
I got to put in my little 5 cents here and also say Ukraine is where Chernobyl
Absolutely.
is. And there's like so many people who are dead and are going to die that I figured they're like, look, we need to hide these folks coming down with cancer and just passing. And
they've been hiding folks coming down with cancer over there. They've been dying like flies over there in Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Over there by Chernobyl. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're the perfect. Well, that's Russia's fault. They used Ukraine like that.
Yeah, they did.
All right.
Yeah, they did.
But it's the Ukrainians' fault because they were created by the Germans. So boom, there you go. In World War I.
I didn't know that.
Just like Lenin was sent to Russia by the Germans before World War I. All right. So you got all these machinations going on of these pretexts and all these fake color revolutions going on. That's all counterintelligence. And so the whole Ukrainian thing is a counterintelligence. As if you would go from studying, you just go start 2012 and you see how they were meddling in affairs of Ukraine to make them more right wing, sponsoring the Azov battalion and killing citizens. They would send out black ops teams to shoot both sides of the protest. Man, it was doing some way crazy stuff. It was wild out there.
Wow.
And so this jumps off a few years ago, and you're acting like, oh my God, Ukraine. Like, boy, y'all niggas ain't been paying attention. This team ain't going, they've been playing this for 10, 15 years. My only issue is that it's Russia's fault because they could have stopped this back then.
See, but I think
they should have moved in.
Ultimately, all these nation states are controlled by the elites up top. And they want chaos. But they want massive population reduction globally.
There's another rub to this because you have to look at the economics. All right. So you're looking at all this warfare. A lot of it is unnecessary, easily preventable.
Yeah.
All this destruction of land, property, and things. All right. You're not looking at it right. This is a trade show. All these countries are weapons producers. Wow. And when a major economy is selling weapons throughout the world, everybody sells them. The United States sells weapons. Israel sells weapons. Russia sells weapons. South Korea sells weapons. North Korea sells weapons. Chinese sell. Iran selling weapons.
It's a trade show.
It's a trade show.
Over the whole
and they have
planet.
To show you how everything works. How else you know? You got to put in reality. Like, why is Saudi Arabia bombing Yemen? What threat is Yemen to the mighty Saudi Arabia? Do they have to bomb it like that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what's going on here? What's going on? There's more than just these things can actually be solved very easily. They've been bribing niggas for years. They've been bribing countries for years and turned over governments for years. All right? So the wars are trade shows to show you what we have and what we can do. And you can do this too. Wow. This is what cluster bombs. This is the newest stuff we got. We used it in Gaza. This is our newest tech. Israel got their newest thing they designed for urban warfare. And we're putting it on a live show in Gaza Strip right now. Come see it.
Wow. Tune in.
Because you know you got the viewers on set. It's not just the news, it's also the buyers on set. Come on in. You hang with the generals.
Whoa.
You come in with the generals, bro. They got a whole goddamn joint you'll do to show how to see how the weapons perform. This is just like selling toys.
This is sick.
All right.
This is sick. Wow.
All right, so let's look at it. None of this stuff is necessary, but it's necessary for business. Why would you trade Brittany Griner for a known arms dealer?
That's true, right?
Because trust me, they was perfectly happy to let Brittany Griner's ass sit in jail. Wasn't no big deal. If it wasn't for the Ukraine-Russia thing, I guarantee you Griner would still be sending her ass in that Russian prison to the Russians let her go. All right. So with the pretext of war with Russia and Ukraine, became a good move. They found a way to get her out, get another weapons deal out. Maybe they turned him. Maybe he was working for them in the first place, and get him back in operation.
Right.
All right. Because you thinking nationally, they think internationally. Right. They're not thinking about the United States. They're thinking about how things affect on a global scale. Know what I'm saying? So you think about the red, white, and blue. They ain't thinking about that shit.
Right.
They'll let that dude back in the field because he's good to business for business. As an arms dealer, he's good for the arms dealing industry. That's our guy. You gotta let him out, man. Know what I'm saying?
Right. Well,
y'all can do your SJW thing. Check her. You got the LBGT SJW stuff covered, and you get good politically, and y'all can use that. You can run that. You know what I'm saying? But we get one of our operatives back on the field because we got some weapons to sell out this month. Like on the real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the one thing is that they have I've stated that this whole encouragement to the most despicable levels of debauchery are so their minds are occupied by the horror of it all, and you're not contemplating, you're not pondering, you're not analyzing.
You know what the Germans call it?
The basics of it. What do Germans call it?
Sturm and Drang.
Wow.
Shock and awe, they called it during the English is shock and awe. That's why they called it that during the invasion of Iraq. Shock and awe. Germans call it Sturm and Drang.
Wow.
It's the same people. I'm just saying the same thing. They just recycling this stuff. Right? Yo, all this stuff is unnecessary. So my point is that you have to understand what's at stake here. And they are willing to destroy thousands of people's lives to buy themselves a little condo or a little island or buy their Cessna.
Right.
They will destroy your family, your community, everything.
Everything.
All right. I just want you to know that. They're not playing though. They do. These weapons do work. Most of them. They got a lot of dummy stuff that don't work, right?
Yeah.
But they still kill people.
Yeah.
And might kill a few of the users in this process, but
one aspect of it is that the U.S. has, because of its landlocked status, has been what they configure as like, Freud has stated the United States was a big mistake. And that's because it brought in the philosophy that you're supposed to have a life of peace and justice. And I'm not saying the US was ever about that, but in order to keep its dumb population cheering it on and, taking over vast tracts of land, they had to lie about it.
Mm-hmm.
They had to pretend that this is a place about freedom, that there's some great American past. And they need to destroy that utterly. So they brought the US down to a point where you really have to be just brain dead not to know it's pretty much a third world nation at this point. There's a lot that you can still get done here, but they want to drag everybody and everything down. And if you don't understand that, like a lot of white folks don't understand that, and so they start becoming massively depressed. And if you're looking at them like they're the be all and end all of everything, you could feel disquieted yourself. And so I know that when it comes to these weapons working,
mm-hmm.
they really want to get it to the point where they could get the weapons working over here eventually. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen overnight. And that's the problem is that they need something to jump off here. And so they are creating artificial conflicts. And so that it seems like, like I'm always like, white people don't realize the KKK actually can't stand you because it's not really telling them the whole truth of what it tells them. Nothing but lies, nothing but propaganda, but it's effective in making sure they're constantly it's easy to fool them. That's the truth of the matter, but it winds up leaving them on a thin edge. And that is the way that they're like powder kegs when it comes to their inability to think beyond their actions. Like, I'm sorry about the people who were killed in Maine, but I just sit back and I'm like, I am not surprised that they will just enter in a thought in their heads and they go with it. They run with it. All of them? No. But that's just kind of like a lot of them, an overwhelming majority of them are on psychotropic meds because they're so massively depressed right now. And so that is why for Black us, you need to get over the materialism so that you could hightail it in as deep a Black community as you can possibly go. Because these folks, they ain't going to hold it together, and they need a conflict popped off here in the U.S. to override the fact that nobody really feels like fighting like they want everyone to fight.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, but I will put a caveat. Black is not going to be enough of an organizing principle for you to be successful.
That's true.
Right? Anybody can be Black. That shit don't mean nothing at that point.
That's true.
All right? What's your mindset? What's your code? Your morality? All these hustlers are out there hustling you, they Black. All right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
White folks don't come to your neighborhood and hustle you. You know what I'm saying? They're not the ones out here hustling you. It's your own people. So it got to be something more than that. You got to have a way of life, a code, a plan. You know what I'm saying? A way to punish those that do you wrong or act out of line. All right? You have to have these things to have a society, because you can't protect your culture if you don't protect your culture. Right. You can't protect it if you don't protect it. You have to have things in place to protect your culture, your way of life.
And that starts on an individual basis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of us, we want the big thing. Yeah. And so we abandon the real thing.
And what we have here in the United States, or even amongst the whole world, is a desire to break down your will to think. All right? Because that's the ultimate control mechanism. We said it, you do it. All right? We said it, you do it. All right? That's what they want. All right?
Right.
They don't want you thinking them on your own, like, wait, how does this don't work for me? You know what I'm saying? They want one size fits all. We said it, you do it. All right? For you. For them, they got all types of ins and outs and caveats, and we can slip around. Oh, that we don't really mean that.
Right.
But for you, for the masses of people, hear and obey. All right.
They put it out there.
That's what they want.
Put it out there. Andre the Giant. He ain't obey.
Don't think about it. Don't even think about it. All right. So then, in a sense, it's a militarization of your mind. Because as a military, you want your soldiers to hear and obey. You execute, then you can ask questions later. All right. But they're upset that people don't work like that.
That's they really do want us to be cattle.
You have to cow them. Yes, like they have to be cowed.
Yes.
And cowed to make them accept that type of thing. So that's what this is about. Cowing you, making you muley-mouthed and unthinking and easily manipulated.
Yeah.
To our will and our way. It's called the manufacturing of consent. It's been that way for years. Yeah, Edward Bernays got a book on it, Manufacturing Consent. He wrote in the early 1900s. It's the foundation of advertising and public policy and propaganda.
Wow.
All right. Mass control. They used Sigmund Freud's work to help that because he was really worried about the masses. He didn't want the masses. In other words, people that weren't, quote unquote, civilized like us taking over.
Yeah, exactly.
All
they
right?
have such an arrogance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. But they know their people, though.
Well, they know their people. And that's it. They're talking about their people.
Yes.
And that is one of the wonderful things about us is they constantly undervalue our intellect. They will just look at us as if we're like them.
Well, that's fine.
And I'm not saying it's not fine, but I'm just saying that they get it wrong. So that is one of the factors is that and I know that's why we're specifically targeted here in the US because we've been given an unprecedented front row seat to seeing these people.
That's the problem is you looking at your intelligence like they do. All right, that's your problem. Black folks, you'll look at them. You'll look at intelligence as Europeans present it.
No, I'm not.
I know that, but since you don't respect your own intelligence, that's my point.
Oh,
you have to respect your own intelligence. You don't respect your own intelligence.
Yeah.
You're so worried about speaking the words the way the white man told you and putting a knife on the right side of the plate like the white man told you.
Right.
You know what I mean? All that stuff like that. You call that culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're so stuck in these things, these cultural constraints they put you in. They're just rituals and culture. They're rituals and superstitions, actually. They got you. What you think court is? It's rituals and superstitions. You got to go. You have to know that in order to communicate with the judge, you got to know his rituals and superstitions. That's why you got law school. You go to the doctor, you got to know their rituals and superstitions. That's why they put the sheet over you because they think they scared of women. That's why they put the sheet over them and all that shit like that. But this is all rituals and superstition that you're dealing with. And you calling it high civilization. See, that's the trick bag. Those are the ones that told you it's these little microbes around. It's killing everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the ones that tell you that. They didn't tell you that since you didn't have no proper food, water. You didn't have proper food till like 1945. Proper clean water till like 1945, 50. Never been to not many hospitals were operating actually the way you think it is till the 1950s and 40s. Literally, that's what you was dying from. All right, starvation, malnutrition.
That's right.
Lack of care, ignorance. That's what you was dying from.
Right.
All right. When no microbes coming around killing your ass. All right. You weren't taking in sufficient nutrition to survive.
Right.
And so your body broke down, your immune system stopped responding, every little thing made you sick, and bye. You're out of here 45 years old.
Right.
All right.
And they had to reproduce that environment by producing food.
Fast foods, yes.
Corporate foods that have utterly no nutritional value in them.
Exactly.
And they're filled with poisons. Which
it's better now. It's the food, the fake food. It's easier now to make bad foods. It's easier now. Before they had to do everything manually. You know what I'm saying? Now they can make big fats of stuff in these chemical factories and additives for these foods now. It's easy now.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to find something natural in your food.
Right.
Back then, you might find some wheat kernels and stuff like that amongst the sawdust. You know what I'm saying? You might find some actual real produce amongst the sawdust. Now everything can be chemically made and bleached out and depleted and then resold to you at high profit.
And because we're not used to, when we see overweight people, we think they're eating too much food, but you're actually looking at a starving person.
Yes.
Who has so little nutrient value going on in their bodies that the hospital is just like filled with the victims, the casualties.
And the fat is feeding ground for your pathogens.
Yeah.
Fat is a feeding ground for pathogens. That's who lives off of it. There's brown adipose tissue. I call it black adipose tissue. And there's white adipose tissue. You need some black adipose tissue, not the white stuff. Right? The white stuff.
The black stuff?
The black stuff is what you have naturally. The white stuff is produced by the toxin food.
Oh.
All right. When you're on your natural diet, you will produce the black adipose tissue naturally. All right. When you're on the processed foods, you're going to go white quick.
Right.
All right. Because it's just going to be stored as white, unused fat.
A lack of oxygen.
No, just unused as waste. Oh, it's going to be stored as waste. So you're going to have all these wastes, nitrogenous waste plots. All right. You have nitrogen waste build up in your uterus. You're going to call it fibroid.
Wow.
Nitrogen waste building up in your breast. You're going to call it breast cancer. All right. On your lungs and your lymph glands. That's where the stuff just going to build up and store there. And you're going to be stupid fat and unhealthy. So
this has been World War III for a long time.
That's my point. You've been living in World War III. It ain't no World War III coming. World War III is World War III. They've been at war with you. They've been at war with you since they decided they was better than you. They're at war with their own people, and they're at war with you. They first started war with their own people because they had to beat the hell out of them, beat them down and control them. And discipline them to go out and go make war on you. And that's the clash of cultures. All right. So they had to control their culture, then export it. All right. Via warfare, through a war, pillaging. All right. Quote unquote discovery. You call it discovery. The age of discovery. Right? The age of discovery.
The age of them pissing in their pants because they're like, God damn.
The age of pillage.
Yeah.
And genocide.
Yeah.
And destruction. That's what the age is of. All right. So yeah. So like I said, none of these wars is necessary. And you have just reached, this is just the tip of the iceberg. All right. I've been gone for a minute because I'm dealing with some family things. I had to get my family thing together. You know what I'm saying? We dealing with life, death, struggle, loss, gain. We human. We got to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
All right. But the mission remains the same. We still got to go out here and educate our people and push this program. That's what 25,000 year cycle is about. We pushing a program to resurrect our people mentally, physically, and spiritually. We have the health thing down pat. All right. So that's what we do. But there's other things that you can do and we can do to make ourselves more effective. All right. That's what we're doing. We want to escape the restraints imposed. You should be working to escape the restraints imposed upon you by you a lot of times. We have self-imposed restraints also.
Yeah. Which is
all right.
It's human nature. And that's, we're not used to dealing with a fungal minded human that would take advantage of simple human nature that in a healing type of society would just be our personalities. But they take it, they go in, they pivot on, okay, this is where we see a weakness according to them, and we could cause a fissure and break it open like the Grand Canyon just by doing this and this and that. So we have to recognize that the healing, the victory is only going to happen from us being forgiving of ourselves.
Yep.
For our, just humanity, and stop, because that's what we feel so attacked, that we are blaming ourselves for the attack. We're just looking and thinking we must be the worst people on the planet because look how easy it is for them to do this and this and that. They're doing it to everybody.
Yeah, but we have to understand that they're successful because they organized. and they executed. All right. And we didn't organize properly or execute properly, else we would have won.
Right.
All right. Let's keep it simple, man. You won because you was better at that point. I mean, at that point, you was just better at that point, obviously. Or you were willing to do something that we weren't willing to do. All right. So, but like I said, that's another cultural thing too. You only see through your culture. You can't see people doing. You can't fathom what somebody else might do that's not under your discipline. You know what I'm saying? You used to deal with people under your discipline, under your culture. So it's like, we know what everybody gonna do. When this wild card comes in, and it's like all bets is off, you might not understand that.
Right.
You know? So adaptation is important. You have to learn to adapt and learn and grow.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Now that we recognize that you could have predator humans.
Absolutely. Everything got in the planet got a natural enemy. Exactly.
Yes. And so you respond. Once you identify the predator, you respond defensively. And that is
you
not
can't treat him like a friend. Exactly.
Yeah, that is not being mean. That is not being anything of the sort. We are trying to protect our right to be. I cannot accept the idea that being us and remaining us as they own the sense that they're the successful ones. I cannot accept that being with white people is our success when it's obvious. Any children that come from that result, go and stick with the white folks. They don't suddenly say, "Oh no, I can say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud."
Oh no, they'll send them back to you to rule you in there as a proxy ruler.
Exactly.
That's what they'll do. They'll send Obama back. You can rule in proxy, or we'll send some other African, like the dude from the Daily Show and Halle Berry. These all Africans.
Right.
You call them African Americans, they call them now. You know what I'm saying? They'll send them back to rule over you.
Right.
And be examples for how you supposed to live.
Right.
Right? They don't take them serious because they know they don't.
Yeah, and they're never going to say anything that's actually
you work for me.
benefit.
Come on, stupid. You work for me.
Yeah.
All right? But we gotta stop taking them seriously because they don't have any agenda outside of what agendas were already laid out for them.
Right.
All their agendas go right back to the World Economic Forum. They go back to this think tank, that think tank. You ain't got no think tank. All right. You got brother Steve Cogley Jr. building the black think tank in Africa. But what black think tank you got here that's operating?
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
On your behalf. Besides I think Arna, we have think tanks. Know what I'm saying? For health, education, life. Then we got all the ministries for all these different aspects of government. But that's a tribal nation I'm in. Know what I'm saying? That's a tribal nation I'm in. So if you can get to the tribal nation with us, then you can have those access to those facilities also. And with that, a certain level of independence, certain level.
And it's a good independence.
But it's a start. You got to start somewhere.
Right.
But the point I'm trying to make is we need our own. We need to stop getting distracted by this fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's being constantly projected on you to make you ineffective, to make you scared.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of these proxy Negro leaderships. You got to understand Black Thought. No pun, because I know he's an MC, Black Thought. But Black Thought is really deep, bro. You don't understand Black Thought ain't that. I know he's great rapper and everything, but Black Thought is a galactic, universal thing. It's a level of communication beyond words and ideas and pictures. It's a whole different level of communication. Black Thought.
Yeah.
All right. It's intergalactic neural pathways with interplanetary communication.
Right.
All right. And interplanetary exchange of energies.
Right.
All right. That's what real Black Thought is. That other stuff you're talking about is just Europeanized thoughts. Come on, man. Get out of here. All right. So we got to look at things differently. That way we can get more power. We can have more authority. We can execute better. We can build better families. We can clear our thoughts.
And supporting each other is just a reflex. It becomes just what you do. Because I know at this point in time, I wish everybody well, but I cannot watch nonsense. I cannot listen to nonsense. It actually hurts my brain. Hurts my brain to hear it. If I have to learn something specific, okay, then I'll deal with it. But it just has become natural to me. I used to say I was allergic to white people. But at this point in time, it's not even an allergy. It's simply I live in a healing reality. And I don't know why I would want to bring skunks and vermin and all the rest of that into my beautiful garden to tear it up all over. I already know about that. So I don't need to be there. Now, I'm not saying it's not good to study, because we got to study because it's a predator.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just saying, once you realize what a haven we are to each other, you're not going to be satisfied with this stuff. Like, there was one thing where I was talking about the silk hair, and I was mentioning the different ingredients, which anybody could go look up, and you'll find out that these ingredients are incredibly healing to the skin.
If you got eczema, psoriasis, constantly dealing with, if you just want to use it almost like as a hand sanitizer, you can use it for that too.
Yes, you can, because the colloidal
silver.
silver.
You can just run right on there, and you got a good smelling, healing, nutritional, infused hand salve or body salve.
And no carcinogenic ingredients. Exactly. But I mentioned as a juxtaposition Cetaphil. And a lot of people use Cetaphil.
What's Cetaphil?
It's this lotion that when you look
it's a chemical made, some chemical.
Yeah, and it's
crap.
Its reputation is.
It got a label. It's crap.
Exactly. Its reputation is sublime. Yeah. But when you go and you look up every single ingredient for the hazardous level, you'll find it has carcinogenic things in it. But I'm thinking to myself, well, the switch should be spontaneous.
Yeah. So the European got you thinking that all these manufactured chemicals or chemicalized dirt, as we were taught, can now be put together to make you healthy.
Exactly.
All this trash, all these toxins can now be put together to make you healthy. That's what they got you thinking. It's called the hospital.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's called modern medicine. It's called Western medicine. Let's keep it. It's called Western medicine. All right. So all these toxins, I can put these together to make you healthier. So that shows you how messed up your head is, because you actually believe that shit.
Right. And it's just automatic.
Yes, doctor. Because I say they got you, they've cowed you. You don't know nothing about your body, nothing about anatomy and physics. I don't know about yourself. Right. And you got a problem, you don't know what to do, and you done ask G's, and you done ask Joe, and you done ask Google, ask everybody. Right. And you're still confused because they give you all these damn, they give you 200,000 symptoms, and you got to decipher which ones is yours. And so I feel sorry for the poor people out here trying to diagnose something wrong with them, because they're gonna think they got freaking a flesh-eating disease if you go online look at some of this stuff. Right. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for them, I see that flesh-eating thing is real, but that's the radiation.
I'm just talking about the impression you have by doing research on your symptoms online. Will just blow you away. Like, oh my God. Right. And I'm like, no, man. Your problem is that you're full of crap. Right. You're constipated. And
literally.
You're toxic. And these are just the side effects of your constipation and your toxicity. All right. So let's clear your ass out. All right. Let's clear the filth out so we can get the health in you. That's what you think. It's unhealthy. I need healthy things. Right. These are poisons. Wheat is a poison. White rice can be a poison. All right. Fake oils can be these oils can be poisons in the body. Canola, sunflower. If they're not processed, you know what I'm saying? These seed oils can be dangerous to you.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of these plants, these kales and stuff you like to eat raw, kale wraps and make a vegan kale. All this stuff can be toxic to you.
And you don't even
know. You got thyroid problems. You shouldn't be eating no broccoli and goitrogens and stuff, and broccoli and kale and Brussels sprouts. You shouldn't even be messing with that stuff until you get your thyroid under control. All right. So all these things are part of warfare, because there's warfare against you. It's chemical warfare against you. All right. The war they're not rumoring about, but we're talking about it. You can see it. They're talking about the chemicals in the food, but we're not taking it serious.
Well, those things are so addictive.
They're highly addictive.
And traditions. people have their traditions that they do. And it seems like it's impossible to get to the other side.
That's why you got to contact me. Dr. She hook you up.
There you go. Exactly.
That's why you got to pull up, because this is a mental battle. It's not just diet. You have to have a mental strategy. You have to get your mind together. You can't be easily dissuaded. You're going to have some strength. You have to develop these strengths. You got to know what you're doing. You have to be able to reckon. You have to listen to your body and be able to see what's working and what's not working. You have to be an adult now. You have to learn to take responsibility. And you've been trained all your life to let somebody else take responsibility. The government going to do it. The mayor going to do it. Mama going to do it. You've been taught to give up your responsibility your whole life.
Right.
So you come to me and I'm saying, nah, this is what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You trying to blame it on something else. Like, no, this is you. This is what you need to do. You got to take command and take charge of your decisions. Right, wrong, whatever. All right? Nobody's going to do that for you. Nobody's going to be healthy for you. Right. You can't buy somebody to be healthy for you. You be healthy for me while I chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm gonna be all type of junk. You just be healthy from my proxy health guy. Now, I don't work like that. Ooh. All right? You're going to have to be the guy. You're going to have to be that person in order to survive the battle and the warfare. Yeah.
Right? That's no doubt. So I want to greet your family, because we talked a good long deal, and I'm just so happy to see all of you here. It just makes my heart feel just warm and eternal. So peace again, brother Roy Zero, beloved sister Gwen B, and sister Yanina Yisrael. Good to see you, Queen. And brother General Mosquito. Oh, I love you, brother. And I think that might be everybody right on there. So there we go. And brother Adam Gentry. Peace, brother. It's good to see you.
Fam. Peace, fam.
Well, listen from the beginning, because there's just so much information all the way through.
Yeah, we just going in. We're just going to have to just kind of keep it up, because there's constantly something going on that people want answers to. Like they got that stupid list of places a woman don't want you to take on a first date. You see that list?
I commented on that, and it's so easy to just dismiss it, which is, this is good for a second date, but you could have men out there who study something like this and then just use it to fool you. And once they feel they've got your faith and your loyalty, then the abuser comes out.
Like I said, it's clown world.
Yes.
It's clown world. If you need somebody to do something for you to ascertain, if you can't study people, right, and ascertain what's good or bad for you, ain't no dinner going to change it.
I know.
No matter where he can take you to the Puerto Vallarta or wherever the hell you're going. You know what I'm saying? Or where you like to go? You like to go to over there in the Middle East. What's that place you like to go now?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, or you'll go down and hang out with all the rich people and shit. You know, don't make a difference.
Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What that got to do with anything?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You just want to be wined and dined and impressed. But what the hell do you have to offer, woman? What are you offering? What did he expect from you? All right. A man take you to Dubai, you're gonna give him some sex and stuff like that. What are you gonna do in Dubai for him? Well, he's gonna pay for the whole trip to Dubai, and he's not gonna get laid nothing. It's good. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I'm just saying, though. My point is that you're making yourself a whore. All right. Yeah. You're supposed to be moving away from whoredom. All right.
Yeah. They want that. They want that so very much. All I need to say is
learn to talk to somebody and have a conversation with them to learn how to know who they are.
Avoid the orgy before you are at the orgy.
There ain't got to be no exchange of anything. Y'all can sit there, sit on the phone and exchange. That's why I don't do that date stuff. That's stupid. Grown people don't need to date. That's childish talk. You know what I'm saying?
You're supposed to get to know each other as people.
You're exploring people, individuals, all right? We building. All right. Some people I can build with, some I can't. That's all.
All right.
Oh, any questions?
Any questions?
Before I go. We need to stop the That's not black first thinking. Anyway, we need to stop the low level materialist thinking. Yes. But the problem is that most of us are inundated into that material thinking at such a young age that we have to go through so much drama, for example, which will be considered debt and hardship before we realize that materialism ain't it. All right. So that means you done set a teenager back damn near 20 years. If they're 18, they might not figure it out till they're 35 years old about debt and materialism. All right. So that's the problem. We got to catch them earlier. And we have to have a system in place that we can respect and we can all agree on. And those that don't want to accept the guidelines, they can go out in their community. They go and form their own community, go with them. You know what I mean? That's what has to be done. Because we can't keep losing generation after generation, and we have to restart. Carter G. Woodson, the miseducation of the so-called Negro.
I was trying to remember his name the other day.
Let's go back to that. In other words, he said, he took him how many years to get over his public school education? 20 years?
Yeah.
30 years? So how many years is it going to take your child to get over their public school education? In this age of YouTube and Sexy Red and you know what I'm saying, and TikTok and all this nonsense, they're going to be 70 years old for that. Oh, wow. I don't think they'd be in the damn near grave. Wow. I don't think it was worth it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got people who don't believe in that, but they hook up with people that are materialists. So to try to please them, they go through this materialist thing. You know what I'm saying? They end up in debt. A lot of men go for it. They let women drive them into debt and all this stuff like that.
You ain't bought me
anything. Yeah, exactly. He goes, I need this house. No, we can't have that house there. We got that house here. No, damn well you can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? So you're putting yourself in a bad spot financially, debt, servitude. That is slavery.
I have never been richer in my life, but that's because I don't buy stuff I can't afford. And my also, once you get out of habit of buying on an impulse, then you suddenly realize I didn't need it to start.
And you've never been able to purchase happiness.
Exactly.
Never.
You've
never been able to purchase that.
Exactly.
All right. You can live at the mall. You'll never purchase happiness there.
Exactly. If your connections, your relationships are in chaos,
that's where it's at.
Everything else is just going to be useless.
That's the difference between heaven and hell. It's all in relationships. All right. The only wealth you're going to have in this life is your relationships with other people. All right. The financial things are nice, but like I said, those are immaterial. They can't return emotional content back to you. They can't return anything to you emotionally. They can get you a temporary sense of self-fulfillment.
Right. Very
temporary.
Very.
All right. But they're not designed to be sustaining.
Right.
All right. So there ain't no questions. Yo, holler at me, 25000yearcycle.org. That's my website. I got videos on there. I've done all type of stuff. You want to see them, 25000yearcycle.org. Consultations, 25000 Cycle health consultations, help 25000yearcycle.org. We got our silk care, we got our soaps, we got our supplementation, we got everything.
And the silk care promo is still going. So with each purchase, you get a free gift of silk care. And that is, woo, my goodness, that is so.
You get silk care with a silk care, like one buy one, get one free? Or what are you talking about?
No, meaning that if someone purchased, like if somebody ordered one of your herbal remedies, put a
sample. You get a sample.
You get a sample. You don't get the 4-ounce one.
All right, let's clarify that.
Yeah, you get the small one.
You get a sample. Yeah, you get a sample. Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you, Sister Gwen. Oh, peace, Brother Ali Hamed. I hope you got the. Oh, and Sister Afro Blue Atlanta. Good to see you, Queen. Brother Ali, you gotta just put it as separate orders, okay? And then we can process your order, but and no transaction is going through. And so yes, that's how you can get each of your orders, because otherwise the system just doesn't work where there's a whole bunch just order. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you mean that's what you're doing now, but yeah, just order it again and do it, because Brother Ali your family love you. Because he's
he
a
the plug.
generous brother.
He the soap plug. He the plug.
He the plug. And I appreciate you so much, brother. You have no idea. But that's how you could do that, so that we'll ship it directly to your friends and family. Okay? All right. I think are we done, bro? Go. Okay. All right. Peace and blessings. Hotep to everybody. Straight Black family pride, and we got a chance. Okay? Love you.